The home office kept a plain order, with a desk, a chair, and shelves holding their places. Late afternoon light rested across the room in a steady band, without bright edges or sharp contrast. The desk surface felt smooth where the finish remained even, and slightly dull where hands often rested. A closed notebook lay near the center, its cover firm and textured under a quiet layer of light. The chair held a woven seat with a mild roughness, enough to register contact without asking attention. The armrest stayed matte and solid, shaped for repeated use rather than display. A pen remained beside the notebook, its barrel cool and lightly ridged along the grip. The keyboard sat square to the monitor, each key holding the same shallow resistance. The mouse pad kept a soft grain that slowed the hand by a small and useful amount. A stack of folders rested at one side of the desk, edges aligned without strain. Their paper surfaces looked dry and flat, carrying a texture that resisted shine. The shelves along the wall held books with cloth backs, smooth jackets, and lightly worn corners. Each surface showed use in a direct way, without ornament and without neglect. The room stayed quiet through ordinary materials: wood, paper, fabric, plastic, and brushed metal. Nothing in it required interpretation beyond simple function. Late afternoon light reached the desk first, then the chair seat, then the near edge of the shelf. That order remained visible without becoming important. The notebook cover carried a faint drag under the fingertips, the kind that helps a hand settle. Its corner stayed blunt and steady against the desk. A felt tray near the monitor held clips, a small ruler, and a folded note card. The tray lining kept each object from sliding, and that small friction kept the arrangement stable. The desk mat lay flat beneath the keyboard, its surface soft enough to reduce noise and movement. Its edge stayed even with the front line of the desk. A lamp stood off because the late afternoon light still served the room without effort. Its metal base looked cool and slightly brushed, free of glare. The chair back carried a mesh tension that yielded a little, then held its shape. That resistance made support plain and measurable. A file box under the desk remained half visible, covered in a dense fabric sleeve. The sleeve looked practical, with no soft folds and no loose thread. One shelf board showed the fine texture of sealed wood grain under the light. The line of that grain ran straight enough to calm the eye. The monitor stand kept a powder finish that reduced reflection and left the surface readable. Its texture made contact seem deliberate and ordinary. A folded cloth near the lamp waited for dusting, its weave thick and evenly crossed. The fabric looked useful before it looked soft. The room held no unnecessary surfaces, and that kept attention near what could be used. The result felt clear rather than empty. A planner rested closed at the desk corner, its cover firmer than the notebook cover. Its material gave less under the hand, and that difference remained easy to notice. The book spines along the shelf varied in finish, some smooth, some coarse, some lightly cracked. Use had marked them without disorder. The floor under the chair carried a low rug with a short pile and a muted texture. It softened movement without changing the room into something else. A small drawer unit beside the desk stayed flush at the front, each handle plain and narrow. The drawer faces showed a dry painted texture that resisted fingerprints. The late afternoon light reached the upper shelf more lightly, leaving the lower shelf easier to read. That simple difference required no decision. A ceramic cup on the desk stayed empty, with a matte surface near the base. Its finish held the light evenly and gave the hand a stable contact point. The window frame at one side remained closed, its painted wood slightly raised at the joints. That small irregularity made the frame easier to trust, not less. A cable sleeve behind the monitor grouped the wires into one quiet line. Its woven surface looked durable and easy to ignore. The desk edge where forearms often rested had lost a little gloss from repeated contact. That change remained local and exact. A legal pad near the folders kept its top sheet flat, with a fine paper grain under the light. The sheet stayed ready without asking to be used. The room offered no lesson through its objects, only a repeated standard of plain usefulness. That standard remained sufficient on its own. A hardback book near the shelf end carried a cloth cover with a faint tooth. Its texture made lifting it feel certain before it felt heavy. The chair wheels stayed still on the rug, their plastic surfaces dull and lightly worn. Nothing in that stillness implied delay or rest.